It's time for Cats Talk Wednesday. Small town and big city joined forces. Vinny Hardy of Lynch, Kentucky, and Terry Brown of Louisville, Kentucky, team up to give you free-flowing, laid-back sports talk. Focus on Kentucky Wildcats, as well as pertinent information in the NBA, NFL, and Major League Baseball.
Coming to y'all live on the BS3 Network, Cast Talk Wednesday. Another Wednesday is here. Terry T.B. Brown, the new owner of the Los Angeles Lakers, is here.
As soon as I come up with my 10 bill, do y'all take layaway? I'm gonna put a little something on it and see what happens.
Just call Jeannie up. Just call her and see what she says.
Yeah, look, long time fan here. Won't you cut me some slack?
Did you know this was coming, or this is a surprise move? You know Lakers streets. You know the vibe, the lay of the land. You know what's going on in Lakers social media. But this in the works for a while, or they just said we're selling the team.
Well, you know the guy that bought it, and I need to have his name, but I don't. Bought 26% of the Lakers a few years ago.
Okay.
And it was he's the guy that bought the Dodgers.
Okay.
And so you know how the Dodgers have been spending money. Mm-hmm. And the Lakers are going to do that. And a lot of people, because I'm like, this is good news for the Dodgers or for the Lakers. They're going to be able to do some different things. People are like, there's a salary cap. But we need JR on here to talk about this is what's going to happen is the apron. Mm-hmm. So the Lakers are going to be able to do more against that second apron. So that's going to open them up to flexibility because the penalty for this dude ain't much of a penalty. He's going to try to win. And so we finally moved after 80 years. I keep saying the Dodgers, the Lakers. I even got a Lakers shirt on. I'm struggling today. After 80 years, the Lakers' plan of give us two top ones and we'll figure it out. Maybe it's come to an end thanks to the apron. And so they got to do some different things. And keep in mind, like I always forget, we've had a bunch of coaches. Like Kobe played for like 9 coaches during it's Rudy T. And you forget, Dale Hare. Not Dale Hare. What is that guy's name?
Yeah, that was the guy before Phil, right when they first started.
Yeah, because he was in Space Jam,
looking like Leslie Nielsen out there.
Yeah. And so,
hey, give me credit.
Yeah, there you go. The other Mike Brown for a little bit. Like we've had Magic over a stretch. Like we've had a lot of coaches.
Friend of the family, Bernie Bigstaff.
Yeah, like we've had just coaches. The front office has never really been great. It's basically you wait on one of the league stars to be unhappy with where they are, like Kareem, like Wilt, and then you get a free agent like Shaq. So the free agents, the front office has never been great. So I'm looking forward to a fresh start. Get the Lakers back on track now that the Celtics have 18 to the Lakers 17 championships. I want to live long enough because I want to pass Boston.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think this puts us in the next tier to do that.
Did y'all have Mike Dunleavy for a minute?
Yeah.
Daddy Dunleavy.
Coach. Yeah, Daddy Dunleavy coach. Yeah. I think he was like 91, 92 if I had to look. But it's a lot of coaches that you don't think about. But I'm like, oh, yeah. Because I'm like, yeah, of course Kobe won with Phil. But we had Byron Scott. We've had a lot of coaches and everything. So I'm hoping this gets us back on track, to get this done.
Now, the Buss family being poor, how does that, and did Jerry just barely have enough nickels to buy the Lakers?
Yes.
Really?
If you watch Winning Time,
okay,
and the book Showtime that it's based on, basically Dr. Buss got into real estate, and he had to hustle to come up with the funds to buy the Lakers from Jack Kent Cooke. former owner of the Washington football team when they had their heyday and everything, right? So yeah, he bought it with a wing and a prayer. So it was absolutely true that the Lakers themselves were broke when he bought the team. He was broke when he bought it. Now they made investments. They had the foresight to also they bought the Forum and turned the Forum into a nightclub. So very fortuitous there, right? The top nightclub in early 80s LA was right there at the Lakers game. Because they kind of forced themselves to be must-see, right? But the thing about the Buss family, it's not like these other billionaire, conglomerates that have come in to own. It's a family business. So when I say they're poor, that's relatively speaking, right? Like, I mean, but it's just a little bit different.
He didn't have oil money or something like that.
Right.
Yeah,
Their thing was the Lakers for the most part. I don't know their portfolio, but that was the big thing, was the Buss family. Absolutely, that was their focus. And you have to say they're probably the most successful owners in sports, at least over the last 50 years.
Yeah. What's it? 10, 11 titles?
12 championships. So you can't argue with that, which is amazing because, like I said, the organization itself has always been dysfunctional. But you happen to have Jerry West on staff to assemble talent, to draft, to trade for a Kobe, to sign Shaq, to make sure they stayed on the same page for as long as they did, and it's really miraculous. That's why I was hoping we would get more seasons of winning time, because everybody sees the Lakers and they get talked about on ESPN all the time, but a lot of luck and some hard work went into making the Lakers, right? Like we talk about these blue blood franchises, work went into that. Like we talk about the blue blood sports programs, a lot of work went into that.
So you saying the front office was not great. So what's maybe the best thing the front office did, the best move? I got the 79 draft pulled up. I mean, I guess Magic was clearly a no-brainer. I guess they couldn't screw that up. I mean, like Sidney Moncrief went 5th. Bill Cartwright was 3rd. Trying to see some other names. The Microwave, Vinnie Johnson went 7th. I guess like if you got the first pick, you had to draft Magic. It wasn't like what year was it? Durant and Oden. It wasn't. I guess it wasn't a debate that year.
Was that 05 or 06 with Durant and Oden? I think
something like that. Yeah, it was. I guess it was. I guess 79. It wasn't a Durant, Oden, or Manning Leaf kind of draft. I guess even the Lakers front office couldn't screw this up. But yeah, we got first pick. We get Magic. So I guess, is that the greatest move they ever made as a front office, or what?
But the funny thing was, getting ready for the draft, that 79 draft was the same time that Buss was buying the team. Because if you've seen Winning Time or read that book, Magic actually met with Jack Kent Cooke while the sale was going on. And Magic actually threatened to go back to Michigan State, talking about salary and things like that. So, yeah, I mean, Magic, that draft, I mean, yeah, he's the best draft pick the Lakers have had.
Because everything else is free agent or trades, right? Kareem, Wilt, Shaq.
Jerry West, I believe, was drafted. If I had to go back and look, or but over the last 50 years, of course, it's Magic.
Yeah.
Because again, Kobe was not drafted by the Lakers. I saw some NBA account that was talking about teams that won championships where they were drafted and they snuck Kobe in. I'm like, look, I get what you're saying, but the Lakers didn't draft him. Now you need to get mad at Charlotte for trading away Kobe Bryant for
Vlade
Divac, yeah.
Yo.
And Eddie Jones, I think. I think that's when Eddie Jones went to Charlotte. Yeah. But still, That's Jerry West being like, yeah, this kid's got it.
Right. So
The funny thing about that too is Kobe actually said in an interview, the best workout he had was with the Clippers. But the Clippers didn't think this high school kid had what it took, which is why they're the Clippers. Which reminds me of, people upset about Matt Jones. I don't know if you saw this, with Vince going from Kentucky to Louisville, and he said in his analogy, Kentucky is the Lakers, Louisville is the Clippers. And I get it. Louisville fans got mad because nobody in the history of anything wants to be compared to the Clippers. But I understand what he was saying. And it's not saying that Louisville is terrible or anything like that. All I'm saying is it's different. It's like Alabama is the Lakers, Auburn football is the Clippers. Yeah. Still with some success, right? But that ain't what people think about. When they talk about, especially when we look at the men's college basketball side, it's true. No hate. You can have your 2 or 3 championships, however you want to count it. It's not 8 plus everything else. And look, man, Louisville fans wild on these streets. I don't usually respond to stuff, but apparently some Louisville recruiting person has said that somebody that Louisville's bringing in this year is going to be the best prospect to come through the state of Kentucky since Anthony Davis. And I said, in my head, better than current MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? Better than multi-all-star Karl Anthony Towns? Better than NBA champion Jamal Murray?
Yeah.
Better than Julius Randle? Better than Olympic hero Devin Booker?
Yeah.
Better than SEC Player of the Year, Defensive of the Year, Tyler Ulis? Better. This kid, and people are like, yeah, he's good. But I'm like, which my thing is, the difference between Louisville just doesn't bring in the talent.
Yeah,
and they have to do things different.
But
that is ridiculous. That is dumb.
They hadn't been on that level since Griffith and them, right? Griffith and who else? McCray and
Lancaster Gordon, which was my guy. I still have an autographed Lancaster Gordon card here at the house. Still one of my most favorite possessions because I remember exactly when we got it. We went to Freedom Hall. My dad got us close. I love Lancaster Gordon, and he signed it. So I still got that somewhere here. But yeah, Louisville just doesn't bring it out.
Purvis didn't do nothing in the league, and he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You pretty much have to go between Darrell Griffith and Donovan Mitchell. Which I understand Kentucky players haven't had a great impact in the NBA until recently. But now we got guys who are key contributors on championship teams. We've got an MVP. We've got all NBA guys. So it's different. But yeah, he's the best one since Anthony Davis. Okay, buddy. Okay, buddy.
Just
I'm hoping that Louisville basketball gets to the point where they just play us straight up when it comes to basketball, because I don't like the grabbing and clutching. I understand you have to do that when you're not as talented, but I just want to see ball. I just want to see ball. Just play ball.
Yes. So, yeah. So that's a nice little intro,
Yeah, but because they get mad, Louisville, if you say the city of Louisville is 50-50. They get mad. And I'm telling you right now, Vinny, I'm telling you, it's probably been some years, 20 plus years. There was a store, I don't know if they had these in Eastern Kentucky, but it was called Kentucky Corner, where it was just Kentucky stuff. That store flourished. Louisville, they were like, oh, we need a store of our own. Didn't last that long. And then it became Cat's Cards Warehouse or something like that. Look it up. It was on Shelbyville Road across from the Oxmoor Mall. I kid you not. I kid you not. So if you in your city can't keep a store afloat.
Yeah. Yeah. Man.
Can you imagine a Kentucky store going out of business in Kentucky? In Lexington?
I'll be clear. I mean, there are. Alumni Hall. And what else we got?
Yeah, there's
tons of stuff.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I know. You know what I miss?
I just bought stuff from the one at the new the Summit at Fritz Farm. They wasn't even Alumni Hall. I was in there buying some stuff. I can't even think of the name of it right now.
You know what I miss? I miss doll hairs. Because one of my goals was to get old enough to wear some of that stuff in doll hair. One of them bright blue jackets and the ladies. Oh, you know what I'm talking about. Those blue hairs in the 90s was looking good. You couldn't tell Janet nothing when she had that sequin Wildcat on with like a basketball on the back and a UK over here. Oh, I miss that stuff, man. Take me back. Take me back.
Because Lexington's supporting multiple Kentucky Wildcats.
Right.
Memorabilia stores.
With a smaller population.
Yeah, I can't even. Stores. Let's see what. Just a quick. It's multiple. Just all over the place. We go to the mall. We got their own stuff. Wildcat Warehouse, that's another one.
Yep. There you go.
Alumni Hall, Wildcat Warehouse. Wildcat Warehouse is all over the place. But yeah, that's just two.
Yep.
And there's more than that we're blanking on. I'm blanking on.
And I'm not trying to shade Louisville, but it's different. They don't admit that there's at least 50-50. Maybe it's 55-45 at this point, Louisville fans. But I don't know.
Kentucky branded fan outfitters.
We're gonna keep naming stores. We need some sponsors, but go ahead.
I'm telling you, Rally House in Fayette Mall. Multiple Rally House. Yeah, look, this.
Well, there's a Rally House in Louisville now because I go there. It's in the whatever mall, I can't remember. I go there with my youngest, who's bound and determined to go to UK. And she found me the ugliest UK dad shirt. She said that's what she's going to get me when she decides to go to UK. I'm like, I'll wear it. I will definitely wear it. But
speaking of Louisville, their baseball team is going home. They got sent home by Coastal Carolina in the College World Series. Kentucky has, past 2 years, Kentucky, Murray State, and Louisville all went to Omaha. So you got that going on, just like in volleyball, where, Kentucky, Louisville, and Western making tournament runs every year. Western's good in baseball, and they did, they could be in Omaha next year. You never know. So, statewide, the baseball is doing well.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad, right? That's once the universities really got serious outside of men's hoops and football, I'm glad about that. So now we can watch teams in volleyball, and we can watch track, and we can watch because I didn't get the guy's name, won the 200 at the men's track from UK. So it's one of those things. I'm glad we have diversified what we got.
That's it. But the Cardinal had nothing for that Chanticleer. The Battle of the Birds, that Rooster Chanticleer thing, the Cardinals didn't have nothing for them today. So that's how that went. 11-3, Coastal Carolina. Yep. And they await the winner of LSU Arkansas for the championship series.
Yeah, it hit me. It was a year ago. I was in.
Yeah.
Omaha
Uh-huh.
and had a real good time. Definitely, I've just said whenever Kentucky makes it, I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
At least for the first game. Like I just looked at some of my memories. I got a shot of the first pitch, and the first home run
School history
in UK history at the College World Series. And
Mm-hmm.
I was so glad I went with my friend Ben, and he lives in Omaha, and was able to be. And he, that screaming picture that I reached, he took that. That was a good moment. That was not staged. I didn't know he took it.
Uh-huh.
He didn't send me that picture until we left the stadium on the way back home, and he sends me. I'm like, oh wow, that is just pure in the moment, extra inning.
Uh-huh.
I was thinking about that. I was like, that is a good sports memory,
Yeah.
man. Like, I know they didn't win, but just being there for that was fantastic. So,
and I say this whether it needs to be said or not, but every chance I get, Kentucky baseball made it to the College World Series before Tennessee basketball made it to a Final Four. I'm just saying, and the College World Series is the baseball equivalent of a Final Four. You got the last 8 teams standing in Omaha. Kentucky did that, and Tennessee basketball, Bernard King and Ernie and Bernie and Allen Houston and Chris Lofton and Ron Slay and all these Vincent Yarborough, who's supposed to be Scotty Hobson, all these dudes still have yet to make it to a Final Four. I'm just saying, and they get so mad when I say that. They get it's just salts their wounds so bad. They get so. My buddy, I'm in a little group text with a couple of my buddies. All Braves fans. So spring and the fall, we're all united. And in football time, basketball, the lines gets crossed and it's blue against orange, it's cats and it's Vols. And every time I say, hey, our baseball, which no disrespect to Coach Madison, has not set the world on fire like the LSUs and the South Carolinas. We made it to Omaha before y'all made it to a Final Four. I'm just saying, just throwing it out there.
Hey man, I didn't know SEC baseball was what it was growing up. I just wasn't into college baseball at the time. It wasn't until my freshman. It didn't
get shown. It didn't get covered either like it does now.
No, it wasn't until that 96, that spring of 96. I came out of my dorm or something. I could go in my car, and then LSU buses and RVs, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, oh, it's for the baseball, series. I'm like, word? Okay, but that's when LSU won. Like, hey, looking back at just the time when we were in school, the SEC, because you had LSU win like 2 or 3 right in a row. The Tennessee women with Shamika Holdsclaw, I think they won 2 out of 3 or 3 straight or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, what we in Arkansas kind of back, like, and then on the football side, Florida won in 96. Tennessee won in 98, but that was a peak of SEC kind of covering everything. To be honest with you, that's wild.
Really
when you think about the big sports, men's, women's basketball, baseball, football, and that's the thing is everybody SEC. Yeah, the SEC's kind of earned a little bit of that.
Yeah, and if the Big Ten had done it, they'd be yelling and puffing their chest about it, the same way. But their conference hasn't done that. But the SEC definitely has. And LSU, I think they switched coaches. I think this dude they're coaching now has only been there 2 or 3 years. They won it 2 years ago. They got 7 College World Series championships, and they just flashed up the graphic. They beat Arkansas in the first game, and whoever they beat in the second game, whenever they start 2-0, that they did that in 6 of their previous 7 championship runs. So they just doing what they do. I'm like, this is crazy. They, in down years, they still get to Omaha in like a down year.
It feels crazy.
Yeah.
But when you look across the board at college athletics and you look at the SEC, they have either the number 1 or number 2 all-time program in those sports, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kentucky basketball, I'd have 1. Mm-hmm. Alabama football, I'd have 1.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee women's basketball, maybe 2 behind
Yeah.
UConn,
Mm-hmm.
right? But there was a time where it was
clearly one. Yeah.
right, and then you look at LSU. I don't know who all. I think Cal State, Fullerton. One of those weird. Baseball's all like Coastal Carolina and Cal State, Fullerton, the Titans. Like baseball's all these teams. You're like, I don't even know where this is. But they're really, really good because they keep showing up in Omaha.
Yeah.
But there's a argument that those programs are the premier programs.
Mm-hmm. That's it. Yep. Well said for sure. So let's see. We got the Lakers. So you got the popping Lakers jersey on. Who is that? Eldon Campbell.
I really do need just a random Lakers jersey. Like at some point, I saw somebody had a AC Green. I was like, I would buy that one. I really wanted a Michael Cooper because I used to wear my socks like that way back in the day.
Oh, okay.
And so Michael Cooper was my guy because I look like Michael Cooper coming up. Okay. Right, just arms and legs gangly with these knee-high socks, and not the most athletic guy out there. But so Michael Cooper, I was like, okay, I can rock with you.
Is that Shaq? Is that Kobe?
Oh no, this is Magic.
Oh, Magic. Oh, okay.
Yeah, with the drop shadow numbers. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, new ownership. Well, yes. Or continued ownership, getting the full share. Got you excited because aprons appear to be meaningless, and if that's the case, y'all will still be stockpiling talent and just paying the taxes and making the money to pay the taxes and just.
And it's LA, man.
Free agent destination and all of that, and so
it's LA, baby.
Heard it here first. The Lakers might be fixing to really take off.
Yeah,
already got Luka and a new owner, so here you go.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm also excited about the NBA Finals.
Yeah, will we have basketball this weekend, or does it end tomorrow?
I think it ends tomorrow, man. Especially if Halliburton can't go.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, once when Shea got the MVP, we're gonna have to recategorize our rankings of Kentucky basketball players.
Yeah.
In as much as what they did in Lexington, what they did after, because his resume is already up there.
Mm-hmm.
The first MVP.
Yeah.
And he's going to be option 1 on a championship team.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be tough to beat. Like, I love AD, and he's top 75. Don't get me wrong, but Shea going to have to be in that conversation because I have a feeling he's going to add a couple of more. He may not get the MVP again, but I have a feeling he's going to add a couple more all NBAs. And wow,
he's only 26.
As far as guards, has he made the leap beyond Jamal Murray? Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
De'Aaron Fox? Yeah. Monk? Yeah. Who else am I missing as far as guards?
Book.
Yeah, Booker. Like, he just out there in Phoenix just chilling. Like, what is Phoenix doing? I'd be mad, man.
And he was 2 wins away from a chip. They were up 2-0 on Milwaukee and looking like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Book gonna be the first cat to win a ring. Halfway there. And then, Giannis did what he did, and then Denver got in there. Murray got one instead, but Book was chilling. But Book is he going to be Dan Marino and never get back to the,
Yeah, I mean that's how quickly things change in the NBA. It didn't used to be like that, but this is what they want, a new team every year. So you may not get back.
And his prime it's flying by. I mean, he's been in there 10 years now, right? Him and Cat.
That's the thing. It's like, because I talked about the TBT tournament. The Harrison twins are playing.
Mm-hmm.
They in their 30s now. And I'm like, word? And I'm like, doing the math. I'm like, yeah, 2014 and 2015. Yeah, it was 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm. That squad looks good too, and that's something to pass the summer away. Archie Goodwin is coming back. Ansley Almanor just jumped right on the squad.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think Khalil Whitney, I think I heard,
Yeah. That dude was on the team for about 2 weeks. I shouldn't say that, but once a cat, always a cat. But he's
literally
he's pushing the boundaries of once a cat. Were you really a cat? Like, was your name on the locker? I don't know, right? Like, I don't know. But good for him. Good for TBT.
Because we talked about it a couple weeks ago. Because of the mental struggles he had, that he posted a picture while he was here for those 2 weeks when he was needing a little more support than he got at the time.
Yeah.
Deron Lamb is back, talking about in his 30s. That's
Deron Lamb is a dude, again, that we don't talk about nearly enough.
Mm-hmm.
Instrumental on a Final Four team and the leading scorer in a championship game.
Mm-hmm.
And by percentage, I don't know, is he still number one, or did Reed pass him? I'd have to look it up. But he was statistically the best 3-point shooter, particularly by volume, over his 2 years here. He's automatic. And so we don't talk about him nearly as much as I think we should. But he's got a spot on my Keith Bogan's All-Stars, the forgotten All-Stars.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Willie is back. And I still look, I watched it and it was fun. The old guys, older compared to the guys we watch now, they still way younger than us. I'm not trying to start nothing crazy, but watching them play Louisville, Mark Pope taking last year's team there to watch the game against Louisville. If Sestina, and look, guys you got obligations, you playing overseas, you got to work. But if Sestina was able to stay, I think, the Cats probably win it last year.
Hey, Nate Sestina against Louisville. I don't know what happened. That guy, when he was on the team, just seemed so clean cut, looked like Archie Cunningham. I don't know what happened at that Louisville game. He is yelling at the crowd. He is being way more demonstrative than he was. I said, "Oh, who is he yelling at?" That's what I was trying to because it was more than just a person in the crowd. It felt like he got something personal with whoever's right there. Yeah. And then at the end of the game, there's the fracas, there's spitting and all that kind of stuff. Like, hey, that's why I say the Louisville-Kentucky rivalry I put at the top, because it really never stops.
Yeah.
It's all sports. It's all everything. Like, I don't know, Alabama, Auburn volleyball, do they get into it? I don't know. I have been to a lot of Kentucky-Louisville games of the quote-unquote minor sports. It's mutual hate for those sports too.
Mm-hmm. Like the baseball. You've been to the baseball games at Louisville and
yes, the women's soccer, teeth getting knocked out and stuff. Like, hey, again, I don't know. Duke, North Carolina football has it, but Kentucky Louisville's everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all encompassing.
We right at that edge for everything.
Yo.
And I don't recommend rivalrying like that, but there you go.
Take a lot out of you, but that's how we do it. Oh man, let's see. So we got the finals. We got the Lakers. Oh yeah, the schedule. Let me see if I can do this too, because that's like the only Kentucky news, honestly. Let's see here if I can get myself together.
The home schedule, not that great. I mean, the overall schedule, I really like. Home slate, not that great, but we'll take it.
Let's see here.
Because with the SEC, I'm glad that we're playing Vandy, Tennessee, and Florida home and home. That's the way it should be.
Vandy, Tennessee. Yeah, Vandy, Tennessee, Florida home.
Because After Kentucky, you got to put Florida up there as the second best SEC men's basketball program, right?
Yeah, they got three titles now.
3 titles and a couple of more and at least 3 or 4 Final Fours.
And they got 3 in this century. So as far as that goes, yeah, they have to be up there for sure.
So you got to put them up there. So Kentucky and Florida should play. Kentucky, Tennessee should play.
Mm-hmm.
We start stacking up them 2 wins a year. We'll have more Kentucky wins than Thanksgivings, which we are at right now.
Already, yeah. Mm-hmm. Take a couple off, and I think still have more.
Yes.
At Arkansas, so you got to go back since Arkansas came to Lexington last year. At Alabama, at Auburn, Alabama and Auburn don't come to Lexington this year, so just got them one time on the road. So Oklahoma comes to Lexington. We saw what Oweh did to them in Norman and the tournament, so now they come to Lexington to face his wrath at home. But yeah. Texas A&M, Buzz Williams is gone, so they got a new coach in there. We get Ole Miss, but you mentioned the home slate is kind of the Ole Miss Travis Perry comes back game. That'll get more buzz, fairly or not, depending on how good they are or not. It'll still get buzz because Travis Perry will be coming back to Lexington. So there's that. Texas, they got your cuz Brown ain't there no more. So Rodney Terry, my bad.
Yeah.
So did that share right? Did that share?
It did not pop up, but
bad. Oh shoot.
We covered it.
I thought I was in there acting. I thought I had it. Yeah, we did. Oh well. Yeah. Y'all know how I do with this stuff. I be struggling. I'm sitting here thinking I had it. Oh, it must have shared somewhere else. But oh well. Yeah, we'll try again some other time. I had it almost there. Yeah, but it went somewhere else. Mm-hmm. Here we go. Maybe. There's what I meant to do. My bad. I tried to screenshot the tweet, but anyway, we already talked about it, so this is late. I'll do better next time. That's all I can say. But you got you keeping up with it more than I am because I'm kind of like you with MLB. You're a man without a team. The Expos are gone, so you tried to be an Orioles fan for a minute and this and that, and
I'm a Cubs fan by marriage at this point. So
yeah.
Like friend of the show, Roy Wood Jr.
That's and I know you said your wife was kind of like wait and see, but aren't the Cubs doing pretty good?
They are. She's
reeled her back in.
She's tapped back in. She was trying to be cool until I called her tapping in the other day with some highlights. I was like, that sounds like MLB highlights. So she's back at it. It's still dumb as hell that we're in a blackout area. Like we can't get the Cubs. That's dumb. Mm-hmm. And when you think about sports teams, it's really hard to keep up with your team.
Mm-hmm. Because the Braves on this FanDuel network, they want you to pay for it, and they ain't been above 500 all year, so I have not bought it. And then MLB network, like, oh hey, it's gonna be the Braves, so you flip on there and you can't watch it because of the blackout. Like, oh,
yeah, man. Yeah, but we blacked out of every close team.
That's crazy.
And every now and then, when the Fox game of the week pops up or something on ESPN, we'll try to catch. But it's I just don't understand how these leagues make these teams hard to watch. We talk about ratings. That's part of it. It's really hard to watch a lot of teams. Because even the Lakers have the national games, but these 20 games are on Sportsnet. These 20 it's hard to keep track of all that if you wanted to, because you're gonna have to pay for it. Mm-hmm. And I'm an old man now. I ain't trying to have 4 or 5 different streaming services because I'm like, do I even have this? You know, because I'll see like a commercial or something for a TV show. I'm like, that looks interesting. Then I'm like, Paramount Plus? What is that? Paramount? What?
Hey, the Cubs, man, best record in National League.
Yeah, man.
45-28, same as the Mets. Half a game better than the Dodgers. So hey, and
yeah,
that's a pretty good sample size. 73 games, 17 games above 500, 3-game winning streak, 6.5 ahead of the Brewers. So
yeah, they moving in the right direction.
Hey now, yeah,
but
reeled it back in.
That's right.
Come back in, Kate.
But to be honest with you, our summers are now focused on the WNBA, the single most unserious, allegedly professional sports league I have ever seen.
That's why I was like you. I'm a man without a team. I would probably keep up with it more, but there are no comments, so I just kind of,
So last night things got out of whack. And so what happens is the Fever are more talented than the Sun. And they have Caitlin Clark, who is a one-woman fast break. Very much like Magic Johnson, Steve Nash. Give her the ball, blah, blah, blah. That's how things go. And so being a Kentucky fan, you'll get this analogy is throughout Coach Cal's tenure, and I'm just going to look at that for a second, just about every team we played, we had better players. And so what's the number one thing teams do in basketball if they don't have talented players? They muck it up. They clutch and grab and dare the officials to call it, right? That's how Rick Pitino played every Louisville, Kentucky game because they weren't aesthetically pleasing. Look back at that 2015 game, 58-50. Right. Okay. Every game is just ugly. The Final Four was ugly. Like they muck it up. That's why I like when the Fever play the Liberty because it's like, hey, we just gonna ball. None of this grabbing and clutching and trying to. So what happens is you tell your team if you're there, like, we're gonna be physical with them. But there's a fine line between getting your team to play physical and where it goes overboard. And what happened last night, it went overboard. And you could see it coming. Poor officiating. Poor officiating is what happened last night. The officials kind of let stuff go, and the players start taking things into their own hands. And that's what happens. It's like that Louisville, Kentucky game where Cousins put the forearm in old dude's face, right? I was at that game, and during shoot around, the Louisville, Kentucky players are jawing back and forth, and the officials aren't doing anything. I'm like, this ain't good. Like you've got to step in because Bledsoe looked like he was ready to fight before tip off, and then tip off happens, and now you got people like it's officiating malpractice. Okay, that's what happened last night. So there are a lot of things at play here. I'm not going to be gaslit by people when, as a Caitlin Clark Fever fan, I'm like, it feels like there's a goal to rough her up. And they tell me, no. This is a rough league. It's all physical. Until I looked up last year, 17% of all flagrant fouls in the WNBA last year were committed against Caitlin Clark, which feels excessive. And so I found this person that looked on the numbers, and it was basically like this person. I posted it, but was basically without saying why. Let's just look at the statistical probabilities of one person getting fouled that much, more than twice number two. Because you keep saying no. We're not targeting, but it kind of feels like you are, right? And so as a Caitlin Clark and Fever fan, what I'm saying is hard fouls are part of basketball. I've been watching basketball for 50 years, almost, give or take. Hard fouls are part of it, right? You're going to get a chicken wing, right? Like, I get that. What they do, again, to gaslight and confuse is conflate the things. Like last night, I had zero problem with J.C. Sheldon hit Caitlin in the face. They called it cool. That's basketball. I'm okay with that. But then Marina Mabry comes in way out of the blue and checks Caitlin to the ground. That's the stuff where I'm like, well, wait a minute now. That feels excessive. No, that's just basketball. That has never been basketball. It never has been. When you go back, those highlights that they love to show of the 80s and 90s where they were clotheslining, that's live ball. That's this. That ain't no cheap shots when the whistle's done. That is not basketball.
Mm-hmm.
The most of us are saying is, hey, take the extra out because we can deal with this. Because what happened? After that fracas, Caitlin came back, pulled a Nate Sestina, hit a 3 over JC's face, and is yelling the entire time at the bench. Right? And so the people, it's not just random fans on Twitter. It's these media folks that are paid to cover the W. Caitlin Clark is bad for the game. Because earlier in the game, her and JC Sheldon got into it. And she told herself, I'll do whatever the F I want to do. And now people are doing these long form. I'm not reading all that. You know that meme? I'm not reading all that. I'm either sorry for you or I'm happy for you, but I'm not reading all that. They do these treatises because she's got privilege. And I'm like, I told my wife, I've been around basketball for 50 years. I have seen all kinds of players from pickup to the NBA talk about, I'll do whatever I want. And I'm like, so my thing is, you can't lionize Michael Jordan, who punched a teammate in the face. We all watched The Last Dance,
Mm-hmm.
and we saw what a jackass he was.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what a jackass Kobe was.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have seen the greats, which Caitlin is. Yeah, that's how they operate. This isn't new. She's not an outlier. And you know how I know that it's nothing new? Because I saw Vernon Maxwell talk about Akeem Olajuwon threaten to slap the shit out of his face.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
No. Like I thought Dream's gonna slap me in the face. Like all this stuff that we have seen done. She's complaining to the refs. My brother or sister in Christ, like you can just Google Michael Jordan talk to the officials and get page after page of pictures. Magic, Larry, like all the way to Steph and LeBron. Like, what are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
But every time she does something, we got to have these think pieces about what it is. And all I'm saying is, because they make a big deal, you just started watching W. Well, I have been watching organized sports for, again, 50 years. I know how this goes. Like, and they put the Fever fans, all they do is watch the Fever. Vinny, you a Cowboys fan. I'm not expecting you to sit there and watch the Niners and the Cardinals play. For what? So is it a professional league or is it a league where everybody we all come together? That is not the way it works. Personally, I'm going to keep it 100. I don't care about the NBA. I care about the Lakers who participate in the NBA.
Uh-huh.
I am not going to watch Charlotte versus New Orleans for some altruist. Like, why am I watching that? I don't want to watch it. And if you don't, well, you like, and that, it just gets so frustrating because I'm like, are you people serious? And they want to move the All-Star game out of Indiana, which isn't going to happen because. And so when Caitlin Clark was out for those 5 games,
Mm-hmm.
viewership in the WNBA dropped by 50%. Now, we can argue if that's right or wrong, but the fact is that's the way it is. If you want to make that leap, it's what you got to do. I am positive, as we were talking about, the NBA was almost insolvent before the 1980 season.
Yeah.
The Lakers and the Celtics, the two most storied franchises, almost broke.
It's crazy.
But what happened, right? Bird and Magic. And then David Stern was like, this is how we're going to get this done. Because I know way back then, you only got a couple of games on TV per week. And it was either the Lakers and Celtics on TV. I know people got tired of it, but you have to pull people in to get them to care. Like, you can get mad about it, but what is. Like, I understand the Cowboys are going to get talked about every NFL show ever.
Yep.
I get it. But I stay frustrated because every time, like, it feels weird the way Indy's being treated. Oh, you don't understand. The league is physical. Well, when Caitlin starts throwing elbows, now up, see, she's pushing off. Now, which is it? Is it physical or is she a bully? Because when she was getting knocked down last year, it was get your weight up. It was, this is a physical league. Now that she's putting people on the ass, now she a bully and blah, 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 blah. Which is it? And every time I start saying something, I get pushback. I've shared with you from random people. You're just saying that because, one, I'm a sellout. Two, I'm in Iowa. Three, my wife is white. So, of course, I'm going to cape up for Caitlin. No, keep it 100. I ain't saying Caitlin perfect. All I'm saying is if you throw an elbow at her and it's a foul, and she throw an elbow at you, it's a foul. That's all I'm asking for. That's all I'm asking for. But y'all going to keep cheap shotting. What's going to happen? Because then people are like, oh, she gets into it and she runs away. Her job ain't to fight. I wish we need to have Craig Bates on here to talk about the dude that would fight for Wayne Gretzky. Right?
That's what I was wondering because I keep thinking like is she getting Gretzky and got the enforcers? Because I'm like sooner or later she gonna have to at least after somebody at least make somebody hold her back, whether she mean it or not.
Yeah, and I think that's come. But Sophie Cunningham last night took J.C. Sheldon out. I called it because it was kind of in garbage time, and the Fever turned the ball over, and I could see her setting up. I was like, oh, I said it out loud. I was like, oh, she's gonna take her out, and yay, verily, she did. And then she grabbed that by the back of her head in a sun move. It wasn't a fight. She had a stone face, and she like this. Come to find out, Sophie Cunningham a black belt. You don't want these problems.
She out there like David West. David West.
Yeah.
David West for the Pacers.
Yeah. You don't want this.
Everybody be fighting, but nobody be going over there near David West.
Because if you watch the clip, one, look at Sophie's face. And that's when it gets scary. When you get ready to fight, you're like, and the other person is calm. My dad told me, you don't want that. Because most of us, when we're in the heat of the moment like that, you're like this. But the person who's calm when that stuff's going on, they got training you ain't got. And two Sun players came at her, and she just like, I'm good. So as we move forward, I'm just tired of the WNBA, man. I'm tired of. I talked to somebody on Twitter today, like, well, at least 50% of her fans, Caitlin's fans, are bad. What? I'm like, get offline and go touch grass. Go to the actual games. It's old people and kids. What are we doing? Oh, you scared of grandma and little Susie? Is that like, what are we doing here? But the WNBA, it's unserious. They've been nothing but unwelcoming toward the vast majority of Caitlyn fans because she is different. And that's why, if you've noticed, I'm always tweeting out because this one account's always, she's the first person to do this in the WNBA. And I'm like, there's no you before you. If you're doing stuff ain't nobody else done. Because that's what they always try to say. This person was Caitlyn before Caitlyn. But it ain't. If you setting records, there ain't no you before you.
Mm-hmm.
There just isn't.
Mm-hmm.
But when I say that, TB got that white wife. Yes, I do. And I love my wife very, very much. And yes, she's from the same neighborhood as Caitlyn Clark. But I can also watch TV.
Uh-huh.
I can also understand what I'm seeing because
Mm-hmm.
I've watched basketball. Like, you haven't watched the WNBA? No, but I've watched sports. I think I said this last week or whatever. It's still pick and roll. It's still pick and pop. It's still, getting that action on the nail. Like, it's still basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all not reinventing anything.
Uh-huh.
And it's not physical. They just don't call fouls, which is a difference. But that's what they want. So I'm a watch.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm at this point, I'm debating about whether or not I'm gonna renew my my subscription for the season pass next year, because all the Fever games are going to be on national TV. I'm like, well, I don't want to watch these other teams, and I made a legitimate effort.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see what's popping off in Seattle. Let me see what's popping off in Minnesota. I've made a legitimate effort to understand all this stuff. But every time, everything bad that happens is, well, Caitlyn Clark and her fans. Well, don't take our money. Be principled. Don't take the money. Don't move your games to a bigger arena. If it's a problem, you don't want a lot of Fever fans. Easy, Chicago. Don't play United Center. Easy, Washington. Almost said the Cap Center, but I think that's been closed for 30 years.
Is it? Didn't they?
Or MCI, whatever. Or Atlanta. Don't play in Phillips.
Uh-huh.
I think Dallas is supposed to move their game to where the Mavericks play. Then stand on business. If you don't like to stand on business.
Capital One Arena. So they still went back to Capital something, even in DC. Capital One. So that's what's in your wallet. Put some money down for that. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm not ranting and raving, but I just was like, they keep saying, oh, this is normal. It feels abnormal. And look, men lie, women lie. The numbers don't. Like 70% of all the flagrant fouls, and last night added to that total. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying that they're all jealous and all this kind of stuff, but it looks like something.
Yeah. I mean, they getting cooked, or they don't like her for a reason. They trying to rough her up and
look, the Angel Reese situation. Look, Angel had a triple-double the other day. Good for her.
Does it count if it's against the Sun, though?
The Sun are a scrappy team, but hey, she has found what works. It's that Draymond Green kind of triple-double. We're not asking you to shoot from the outside. You initiate the offense from the paint in. That's where her and Camilla can really, really work. If she focuses on that, she is going to be a problem, which I did tweet about. And the whole Gino diatribe where he was talking about reality's coming for Caitlyn. He also said that draft class was not very good. And now, over the last 2 seasons, I think the only people to get a triple-double in the WNBA is Caitlyn Clark and Angel Reese. And that's with Cam Brink being hurt. You got Rakia Jackson also out there in LA. That class may turn out to be one of those. You also got Elizabeth Kentley from Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
Playing for Coach Brooks that tore her ACL her senior year. She's coming back. She's got the potential.
Yeah, some heavy hitters.
Yeah, and they built up all this thing about Caitlin Clark fans being disrespectful because when she got drafted, the majority of us that know basketball, like myself and other people, said, oh, yeah, she's going to be a top 5 player in the league. That's not being disrespectful. That's because I've watched this girl play. And yay, verily, it came to pass that she was first team all NBA, which means you were a top 5 player in the league.
Mm-hmm.
That was not disrespectful. I watched her play.
I mean, LeBron can't miss from his sophomore year in high school. That wasn't disrespectful either.
Right.
And
he came in, and I forget what former Cavs players, I think it was Ricky Davis, was like, we thought they were bringing in LeBron so we could, kind of show him the ropes and all this kind of stuff. Turn to find out. No, he the boss. He's in charge, right? And so that's not disrespectful. That's just like, she's that good. And yay, verily, she set the record for most assists in the season, which still boggles my mind that people are like, she's not a good playmaker. I have never heard anybody lead a league in assists, and people be like, I don't know if she can make plays. And now she set a record for most points generated between points and assists. Well, Diana Taurasi has 10 games where she generated 50 points in her career, 500 games. Caitlin has 9 of those, and she still hasn't played 50 games yet. Game 46 was yesterday. Wow. Now, how can you have career numbers and you've not even played but a little bit over a season? Stop telling me that everybody can do what she does. Because, again, I keep retweeting this stuff. Oh, everybody can shoot from 30-plus feet. Last year, she had 31 threes from 30 feet or farther away. Sabrina Ionescu, number 2, had 6. I don't know a lot about math, but I know 31 is 5 times greater than 6. Stop telling me that, oh, anybody can do this. Then do it. Mm-hmm. Like, show me where somebody else has done it.
Yeah.
But let me get off that because there'll be people in the chat talking about, and this is what happens too, the racial component.
Uh-huh.
They've just decided, because she's from Iowa and people in Iowa are racist, that anytime some random account on Twitter says something, oh, that's all Caitlin Clark fans. This is how I knew that whole racist thing had jumped the shark. Last night, nothing but a bunch of white women fighting, getting technicals. And somebody's like, see? I told y'all she was racist. How? Like,
yeah.
What are we doing? I don't like her. Get down. Okay. Like, all I'm saying is you ain't got to like her. There are great men's basketball players I am not a fan of. Personally, I'm not a fan of Tim Duncan because he kept the Lakers mainly because he kept the Lakers from winning more championships. I'm not a Tim Duncan fan. I'm not necessarily a Steph Curry fan, right? Like, but I'm not going to be here and say, Steph can't shoot that ball, because if I say something like that, then you have to question everything else I say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are you talking about? I'm not a Tom Brady fan, but I'm not going to say he's trash.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, come on now. Y'all, do you know how pro sports work? I don't have to like the play, but I'm not going to tell you that Brett Favre wasn't good.
Yeah, right. Same thing with Jerry Rice. I can't, I don't love him like you do, but I can't say he wasn't what he was.
Yeah, man. I know you saw that thing I tweeted out about Jerry and having all those yards after he turned 31.
I did. And who was it? The girl was from 49ers girl.
Yeah.
And my issue, I took issue. I'm like, let's not put Michael Irvin in there because look, when your career gets cut short by injury, it gets cut short by injury. You can't help it, but it is what it is. And yeah, like if you're gonna put Michael Irvin, put Sterling Sharp. His career was cut short too. I'm not saying they would have passed Jerry. I'm saying they would have been closer had they been able to play as long as they wanted to play. They weren't. So that was my little thing. But
but the crazy thing is he scored more touchdowns than anybody in NFL history at age 31, and then had a Hall of Fame career after that.
Yeah. And
that, like, we did. I know I'm a Jerry Rice fan. Where's little Jerry? I don't know where I put my little figurine at. Oh, here he is. Yes, I'm a Jerry Rice fan. But that is insane.
It is.
Like people are like, oh, he's a compiler. No, man. He had all the receiving records and then had a Hall of Fame career after that.
Yeah.
Like, y'all need to slow down and put some respect on his name.
Yeah, I can't argue with
none of his
number.
But I'm like, oh, he's a compiler, bro. He was a 40-year-old wide receiver in the NFL. How do you compile numbers? Like the NFL's not built for that. What are you talking about? He's 40 years old and he went to the Pro Bowl because he had a 1,000-yard season at age 40. Explain to me how you compile NFL numbers.
JB.
Appreciate you, JB. But I knew I was going to get fired up today.
Yeah.
But last night I was like, are you kidding? And this morning, like, oh, Caitlin's bad for the league. Man, do you want to make money or do you not want to make money? Be serious.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember. I saw somebody talk about this, and the WNBA shot themselves in the foot. All right, you get people to come in to your league.
Mm-hmm.
Do they come for one person? That's generally how these things work, right? One person kind of pulls you in. But let's say that you're in Seattle. You're like, oh, going to take my family to go see Caitlin Clark when it comes down. You have a good time. You're like, oh, we can come back and do this again. But now, because they've tarred and feathered every Caitlin Clark fan, it's going to be like, we'll come when Caitlin comes down, but we're not watching anybody else. And it's a shame because I have really enjoyed watching all these teams.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I say I've watched them all, I'm not just whistling Dixon, right?
Mm-hmm.
I watched Seattle last year and this year. Skylar Diggins, a much better point guard than I thought.
And she's been around for a minute too.
Right? They got good things in Seattle. I think I told you last year I watched Minnesota, who lost in the finals, who's back being really, really good. Fee Collier is a beast, and I love Minnesota's offense. That ball moves. That ball pops. You don't know where she's going to catch the ball. Is she going? I love that offense. The Liberty, fantastic. Brianna Stewart, better than I thought. Even Sabrina Escu, better than I thought. I've been watching the Dream. Been watching Ryan Howard put in work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right. I've watched all these games. I watched the Wings. Arike for Dallas.
What's her heart? She trying.
Hey, I would put her on the Malik Monk. Maybe not always the best shooter, but when she gets it going, we run in 1-4. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Chicago, I think they figured out something with Angel.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched these games. The Valkyries, I was explaining to the wife, their expansion team, and they've got, I think they're at 500.
Mm-hmm.
And they were serious pretty much, if you remember the Carolina Panthers and Jacksonville, they were in the NFC and AFC championship game year 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the Valkyries have that feel to them. So I'm like, look, I'm watching these games. Tina Charles, I know she plays for the Sun. she reminds me of a Dirk Nowitzki, Jokic kind of player.
Ooh.
She doesn't wow you with her physical traits, but she's got that fall away, that one-legged Dirk fadeaway. It's automatic, man. I love watching that kind of stuff because I love basketball. But I ain't gonna keep watching it if everybody gonna keep talking slick.
That's crazy.
Like I would give up on the NFL if they kept talking slick about my Niners. All right, I'm not gonna give up if it's always everybody taking shots at Purdy. I ain't watching it. It's unnecessary.
I see.
So that's my point. But I enjoy basketball, and it's a more relatable game of basketball because it's not played above the rim. I'm not saying I can do what the WNBA players do, but I understand is being physically 6'10", it's a little bit easier to lay that ball up than if you're a 6-foot person. So you got to do things different. So I understand that. I respect it. But I'm just not going to keep being slandered because this one player was my entry point in there.
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
Because every black person that says anything complimentary of Caitlin or the Fever gets drugged through the mud. Cheryl Miller, Cynthia Cooper, Candace Parker. Like, oh yeah, that girl's the truth. And it's like, oh no, come on, man. It doesn't need to be like that. It really doesn't.
Yeah.
Just keep it about basketball. That's what we're here for is basketball. Like I'm glad that the ladies got all this other stuff going on. Good for them. Get your bag. But you have to keep the focus on why are you here? All the extra stuff is nice, but why are you here is basketball. And that's what my dad said about Shaquille O'Neal. Way back when, he's like, you doing all that rip rapping. That was my dad saying, no, not rip rapping. You need to worry about his game. Being all these movies and everything. And once he took a break from that, he got a three-peat. I'm saying, like, why are you here? It's the basketball. Work on this. And that's the thing is Caitlin keeps it about basketball. Her work and what she puts in, all the stuff she was doing in the off season. She had the trainer from the Fever, Keith, follow her around to get work in. And that reminded me of Kobe, right? His infamous work ethic. Like, I'm going to get an early morning workout, then practice, and I'm going to come again. Because this thing is, if you just doing practice and I'm doing extra, think how much more time I've put in my craft than you have. That was Kobe's thing about not passing the ball. Was I've seen you come into practice late, leave early. I've seen you go through the motions. So yes, me shooting over 3 people is better than passing you ball because I know how you practice.
Yeah.
Right? And that should have been the takeaway from The Last Dance. What they talk about with Michael Jordan. He said, I didn't do anything I didn't ask them to do.
Yeah.
If I'm giving 100%, you will too, or you can't do this with me. That was the quote he had. And all those guys, whether they liked Michael or not, understood what he was trying to do, right? Luke Longley talk about it. Even Scottie Pippen, understood this is what it takes to get where we want to go. I thought that was to be rewarded. But instead, we talk about Caitlin. She's got bad body language. Like, did you see those 3 threes in 38 seconds from 30 plus feet away? Like, yes, she wants the ball back. Again, that's not unusual. I've been watching basketball for 50 years. I've seen guys go on heaters. Give them the ball.
Yeah.
I told the wife about this too. You remember 1995 Randolph Childress for Wake Forest.
Yeah.
Went on that run, the ACC tournament, like 4 straight 30-plus games. I remember the championship game. Somebody else had the ball. He went and took it from his teammate.
Yo.
And then went and scored. He's like, I'm doing this. So again, what she's doing is not unusual.
No.
I've seen it.
Yo.
I've seen, like, and that's basketball, right? You get somebody that's on a heater, you keep feeding them. Right? It's like when Kobe went for 81. Give him the ball, get out of the way. It's like last year, just last summer, the men's gold medal game. Steph Curry got on a heater. Do you remember? Right? Steph Curry took a 3-point shot over Wembanyama and 2 other guys, and to his immediate left, Kevin Durant was at the top of the key. LeBron was on the wing, uncovered, and he took the shot. And like, have y'all watched basketball before? Is all I'm asking. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
But we're talking about body language. I have seen Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, like all these greats, Akeem, yell at their teammates on the sideline in the huddle. I've seen it. Because they've been showing clips because it's the 30th anniversary of the Rockets winning over the Magic in '95. Hakeem was heated. One of those games, like that, one of those clips, like he never got heated, but he gets heat. Like, that's not unusual.
No.
I mean, what are we doing here? She's showing up her teammate. The greats do.
Yeah.
I have seen my favorite quarterbacks point at receivers.
Oh man, yeah.
Like, I mean, what are we like? What are we doing?
Shoot, Troy used to do it. Marino was always jumping on somebody.
Right. Like that, like this isn't unusual. But because it's her and she's from Iowa, I guess, it's like, she's got anger problems.
Wow.
And I'm like, every great team sport player I've ever seen has yelled. Jerry Rice has come off the field and yelled at a teammate. Like, what are we doing here? But at that same time, we're like, we don't want to coddle the players. Y'all doing the coddling.
Yeah.
Yelling happens in sports. Like, what are we doing? But again, I'm sure I'll be a whole bunch of names and all this kind of stuff. But whatever. I'm going to speak my truth. I'm not going to be gaslit to think that it does it because it feels like she's being targeted.
Trying to touch her up every chance they get.
But now she's added some bulk and she's touching back. Now it's a problem. Now she's extended that arm. Look at the way she does. Anyway, and hey, I'm gonna tell you, Fever get that championship's gonna hit like crack, man. It's gonna hit me hard, man. She ain't won nothing.
That's the last thing to hang on to right there.
And the thing is, like in the championship game she lost, they act like she only scored like 3 or 4 points. She still went for 30 apiece in both championship games that she lost. Like, what are we doing? And that's another thing I love is when the spotlight's on, she's going to give you a show. And her the next stinker game she has when the lights are bright will be her first that I've seen. But let me calm it down for I'll be a whole bunch of bad words in the comments.
No, we knew this was gonna be one of the topics for sure after that. So yeah.
But I'm just tired of less talented basketball teams mucking it up. That's one thing I did like about Indiana in the 2012 championship game, or not championship game, in the tournament. Indiana was like, "We just gonna run," right? And the officials like, "Y'all just gonna run up and down? Okay, cool." And it was great basketball. No grabbing and clutching. That's one thing I do like also about when we play North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
It's not grabbing the clutches like, you got dudes, we got dudes. We're going to get this game in the 80s or 90s and see who's got the best people.
Mm-hmm.
Although I know that the Anthony Davis game was in the 70s. But my point still holds is North Carolina, they take their ass whooping like a man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which I'm glad that we're playing them again.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, the schedule overall is good. Yeah, you're right. The home part is a little but the neutral sites and the road and all that is gonna be fun. So another fun show. They had the soapbox. Been a little minute. They
had to vent, man. But
that was fresh. Happened just fresh off of last night. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right into the day.
I love it. Time to play the feud, man.
So we'll see what happens next. And like you said, they're gonna be on TV regardless whether you get the package or not. So you got that going. So
and look, I try to give them a shot, man. I legit tried to give it a shot, but from L. Duncan, people that are just usually so measured, like she's like, oh, that new fan showed with pitchforks. No, he didn't. Like, no, there's so many people like myself. Like, I'm here for Caitlin. I'm gonna be honest, okay, but I'm gonna check everything else out because I don't know how women. Like, I have not watched women's basketball like that.
Yeah, I'm
late to the party. But I'm also of the mind, like, if this is how y'all act, okay, I didn't miss much.
Yeah.
If this is how y'all gonna be, I didn't miss much.
That's a shame, too. That's a shame. It's just, like you said, it's unnecessary. So
yeah.
Mm-mm. Well, good stuff as always. Lake of knowledge, Caitlin. Louisville not supporting Louisville stores in Louisville. A lot of stuff we hit tonight. So,
and for all the jokes that Louisville has about being about UK being a basketball only school, they've only won a national championship in one team sport. That's men's hoops. Don't get it twisted.
Yes.
The facts are the facts, and they don't have a winning record against Kentucky in anything.
Still, numbers don't lie, like you said, and they just gotta live with that. So
yep, men lie, women lie. Numbers are what they are, man. They're cold and passionate.
Yes. Appreciate everybody tuned in to watch. Appreciate you getting the comments, JB. I'll be back next week and see what happens between now and then. NBA season will be over, so we'll be looking for the TBT and the W, and I'm gonna watch some of the Ice Cube's Big Three. I'm gonna watch a little bit of that on some Saturdays.
Had a fight last time. Basically, I come in and out with the Big Three, but sometimes it's like it's old dudes at the park where it's like, can y'all move to another court, please? like I want to be respectful, but it's like, all right, guys. Because first off, I'm like, oh, I see why this is half court. Okay, I see that. Okay.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah. It'd be like Odin Polynese and stuff out there. Oh man. But we enjoyed it. Everybody, appreciate y'all watching. If you get a second, go to Spotify, give us a little 5-star, put a little rating in there. That kind of stuff just helps it grow and helps people find it. And we sure appreciate it. Appreciate the BS3 Network. Main man Ben Southern putting us on, and we enjoy bringing the show to you. So we'll be back next Wednesday. Catch Talk Wednesday. TB in the Magic Johnson jersey, new owner of the Lakers, working out a deal with Jeannie Buss.
Yes.
See when the ink dries next week. Y'all join us then. We out.